Am I wrong for wanting to move in my parents and not my husband's and suggesting putting them in a nursing home? I, 35 female, have owned our home since before marriage, and we have a prenup. In a day to life, we refer it as to our home, but my husband, 37 male, has never paid anything towards it and has no legal rights to it. All of our parents are still alive. My husband and I are both the youngest children, and our parents are all much older. His mom has some dementia, and his dad has some major mobility issues. They can no longer stay in their home due to my mother-in-law wandering the streets recently. Adult social services have been involved. He has 2 siblings. One is an addict and is in prison. The other has 4 kids and lives in a 2-bedroom apartment. Neither of his siblings can take them in, so it's us or a nursing home. Both of my parents are older and have recently retired. They live in a major city but can't afford to live there on just retirement. They need to move. My older brother is dead, so it's just me that my parents can rely on. I want to move my parents in with us. They're both easygoing people, and my husband gets along with them well. They also can contribute to the household finances. They wouldn't be a burden on us at all. My husband's parents just live off Social Security and are going into debt because of their medical costs. They would be a major burden on us. We'd have to take care of them and provide for them full time. My husband works much longer hours than I do, so I'd be responsible for them. My in-laws also aren't very appreciative people, and I do not like them. I mentioned that I want to move my parents in with us, and we could use the money we'd save from their financial help to put his parents in a decent home. He was furious. He thinks we should take his parents in, and my parents can just move somewhere cheaper and manage their own retirement funds fine. I don't think this is reasonable at all. I expressed that he doesn't have time to look after his medically needy parents, nor can he afford in-home health care. He said, as his wife, I should look after his parents out of love for him. I think his response is kind of bold, to be honest. I told him under no circumstances will his parents be moving in, and he's always welcome to move out and care for them elsewhere. I told him if he decides to stay, I'll respect his decision of not wanting my parents to move in, and I can look into other options for them. Am I wrong for not being willing to let my in-laws move in, but wanting my own parents to move in? I mean, clear she's not the a-hole, because her family, her dad and her mom, they're going to be contributing financially, and she doesn't have to take care of them, and they're her parents on top of all of that. His parents, they're medically needy. They need to be taken care of. He doesn't have a nursing he can't afford an in-home nursing assistant to take care of them, so he wants his wife to uproot her life and her time and her priorities to take care of his parents. And from the sounds of it, she doesn't even like them. Apparently, they're rude and disrespectful and unappreciative to her. So why would she do all that for people that she doesn't like or want to be around? Like, I don't get it. Like, the best option here is her parents moving in, contributing financially, and them giving his parents more money so they can go to a better nursing home. That's honestly a good idea. That would be a better idea, because this woman clearly doesn't want to take care of these people, and on top of that, she doesn't want them to move in. So, update. I spoke to my husband for an hour about it. I think he thought I would cave in, but I'm not. Our marriage is done, and honestly, I'm okay with it. I bring a lot more to the table, and I'm already ready to be with someone who's an equal partner. Certain aspects of his culture I admire, but the relentless idea of sacrificing everything so your parents are comfortable is something I don't agree with. They've always treated me poorly, and I'm not willing to sacrifice for them. My husband packed some clothes and is going to stay on his friend's couch for a while. I'm going to move my parents in later this month, and I'm going to change the locks and move his stuff out to a storage unit tomorrow. He can't afford a lawyer, so I'll find one to represent us both, and that'll be it. I don't know what he'll do about his parents, and I don't care. He doesn't make enough to pay for their care, so they're probably going to go to the only nursing home in the area that works with Medicare. It's a truly awful place, rampant with abuse and neglect, which does suck for them. But they treated me like trash, so that's life, I guess. Edit part 2. A lawyer can represent us both apparently, and can only mediate us both. Bad, but whatever. I'll give myself one. If he can't come up with the money, I'll get whoever is cheapest, I guess. And yeah, that was the end of that. A commenter said, from a purely pragmatic standpoint, your idea, your parents moving in and using the savings to help his parents, sounds like a reasonable one. He doesn't seem to have a cognate idea other than wife take care of my parents, which is unrealistic and unfair. With your idea, it seems like everyone wins. With his idea, he wins and everyone else loses. Yep, not the a-hole. She even said, my parents can find another place. if you want to stay with, in the house, you can just stay and I'll respect your decision. She even treated him like he was part of the decision making for this house, since she's the one who owns the house and he has like no legal ties to the house. They're married, but he still has like no legal ties to the house. And he still said, no, if you're not taking care of my mom and my dad who are medically ill that you hate and that are terrible to you, then I am not going to be with you anymore. Like, people are weird. At the end of the day, the only person who's responsible for taking care of your parents is yourself. If someone said, I'm going to help you financially to put your parents in a better home, that would be a better idea, because you work all the time. You're not going to be here. Your parents are needy. They need someone to take care of them, like 24-hour care. You can't afford home care. You can't afford a good nursing home. So who do you want their life to be uprooted and to take care of your parents for you? Like, people are weird. Like, I do not like the idea of putting all your responsibility onto your spouse just because they're your wife. Like, people think women are no good for nothing but, to be nothing but labor workers. No, thank you. I'm glad she chose to leave this whole situation, because this sounds messy. Am I wrong for not putting my husband's children in my will? My husband Jack and I are married later in life. We were both in our 50s. It was a second marriage for both of us. He has 3 children. I don't have any biological children, but I am still very close to my former stepson, Thomas, and helped raise him. We were both very well off financially, Jack more than me. Jack owned his businesses and was upfront that he intended that the business to be left to his children. We signed a prenup before our wedding that basically said we each get to keep what we brought into the marriage. We kept our finances separate, though we both contributed to a joint account for household expenses, which was split 50-50. We did our wills at this time. Jack left everything to his children, and I left mine to Thomas. We were both aware of what the other had done, and we were fine with it. Jack's business went under about 4 years ago. He was desperate to keep the business going and poured all his savings into it. The business had been his grandfather's and then his father's, and he was determined to be able to hand it to his children. He ended up losing almost everything. He was completely devastated. Standard of living-wise, not much changed except that I am paying 100% of household expenses. I love him and I'm fine with this. I had a health scare about a month ago where I realized that if I died, Jack would be left with nothing, as my will gives everything I own to Thomas. I told Jack that I was planning to change my will. My plan was to put a third of my asset into a trust for Tom's children. He has 2 currently that both call me Nana. A third directly to Thomas and a third in trust for Jack. I would set it up so that Jack would receive a generous monthly check, but after he died, the assets in the trust would go to Thomas. I did it that way because I want Jack taken care of while he's alive, but after that I wanted to go to Thomas, not Jack's kids. Jack is furious that his children aren't going to receive anything. He kept pointing out that I have 3 stepchildren, not just one former one. Why are his kids getting nothing and Thomas everything? I should say that by the time we got together, Jack's children were grown. One already had a child, another one was married. Other than the occasional holiday, I have never lived with Jack's kids. While he's not biologically mine, Thomas is my son in every way that counts. While I get along with Jack's kids, we're not close at all. Jack is starting to leave me over this. He keeps saying that if I don't care about his kids, that means I don't care about him. I've told him that this is nonsense and that I don't respond well to ultimatums. We had planned to leave our assets separately before we were ever married, but now that he doesn't have money, suddenly he wants me to leave my money to his kids? Am I wrong for not wanting to do that? Absolutely not. Because at first, when you guys were getting married, he had more money than you. He told you, you're not getting anything from this. Well, no. He said that he wants to leave all his money to his kids. Now that he has nothing, he wants you to give money to his children. But when he thought he had more than you, he was acting all crazy. Like, no, LP is definitely not wrong. If I were her, I'd just kick him out, because why are you giving me ultimatums in my own home that I'm paying 100% for everything? Even if the home doesn't belong to OP, she's the one paying for everything now. And she's so kind. She literally said, after I die, I want money to go to him for monthly expenses. And then after that, I want that trust to be closed and then go to my stepson, Thomas. She wants to take care of him even when she's dead. And she's taking care of him now. But she just doesn't want to give money to his kids, because his kids, why would she care about 3 grown adults that she barely knows just because she's married to their dad? Like, what? over her own son that she raised, because he may not be hers biologically, but that's still her son. Like, people are delusional.